Alright, now that we know how to compost, I went about noticing in my yard what part gets the most sun, because plants need sun. So there's a lot of trees in this area. I'm in zone 8B, and so throughout the year I just observed that in my front yard, stage left gets the most sun, and so that's where I'm going to plant my garden. And this is what I decided to do. As you can see, we've got bushes over here. Whoa, other way. We got bushes over here. I'm gonna do like a fence for the deer, rabbits, what have you. It's 13 feet running east-west and about 33 feet running north-south. I'm gonna put a gate in this lower corner here, and then I'm gonna have 3 6x6 raised beds. The only reason I'm doing raised beds is because I'm on a hill, right? Which is cool because I'm gonna have a rain barrel and an irrigation system, and that the gravity is naturally going to irrigate the crops, but I need raised beds so that my dirt doesn't just wash away. So I'm going to show you how I did that in a second, but this is kind of the schematics here of how I'm going to design my garden. I decided to have planters at the bottom here because I want some seasonal vegetables and fruits as well. And then in the 6x6 planters, I'm going to do 3 sisters. So we're going to talk about 3 sisters in just a second. So believe it or not, there were actually people here in Atlanta before white people, and they thrived. And what did they mostly live on? Was a crop called 3 Sisters. It was corn, squash, and beans. These are like partner gardeners. I forget the exact term, but they grow well together. So basically what happens is you plant the corn first, and then you plant the beans around the corn. So the corn provides a pole for the beans to wrap around. The beans actually like soak in, I think it's nitrogen, into the soil, and it helps the corn. And then the squash keeps the soil moist, provides ground cover, and also deer do not like the feel of the leaves of the squash on their feet, and so they tend to stay away, which is great. Also, corn, squash, and beans, you can survive off that forever. It's got every single nutrient, protein you could hope for. The trick is, though, that you do have to get pole beans so that they'll grow up the corn, and then the type of corn is going to be flour corn because we're going to make that into cornbread. So I decided to go with hickory cane dent corn. It's about 2 ears per stalk, and so I'm going to show you here in a second that I'm planting 6 stalks per raised bed. And so let's see, 6 times 3 is 18. 18 times 2 is, I don't know, like 36 or something like that. And so it should produce twice a year, so 36 times 2. I don't really know what that is either, but it's probably just under 100. So I should have just under 100 ears of corn if I do it properly. Alright, here we go. Yep. So this is what the raised bed looks like. So remember that this is 6 feet, this black part. I'm going to plant sunflower over here next to the bushes because the sunlight is coming in from this side. We don't want the sunflower to block out the sun, so I'm going to put it on the opposite side there. So what the sunflower does is it's going to distract the birds from messing with my corn and my beans. They're going to go after the sunflower, and I'm going to make some lovely sunflower oil so to put in my cornbread. And so that will be that. I'm going to do wildflower up here to attract pollinators. You do want pollinators. I ordered heirloom seeds. That means that natural pollinators are going to do their jobs if you attract them, and they're going to whatever pollinate and then allow the vegetables to flower. Okay, so that's why I have wildflowers. Amaranth is great for pollinators as well. It's also going to distract the birds, and it's in like a grain, so if you add it to your corn flour, it turns this really cool red color. So I'm excited about the amaranth. And then I've got herbs. So if you get some stinky herbs, it's also going to keep the deer away. It's going to keep insects away. They don't like the smell. So I believe I got like oregano, thyme, sage, lavender, that type of thing. So that's going to be the border of my 3 Sisters crop. And then in the middle here, can't really see the color, which is a shame. But basically you're going to make a 2-foot mound in the center where you will evenly space out by 10 inches seeds of corn in in a circle shape, and then around that you're going to plant evenly spaced 4 beans, right? So remember, the beans grew up the corn, and then around that 2-foot mound, evenly spaced, you're going to plant your squash. It's going to be 2 seeds per hole. So that's the basics of the raised beds that I'm going to plant. I do have some planters, so I'm going to show you in a second what I'm putting in the planters. Okay, in the planters, I wanted some seasonal vegetables, as well as something kind of hardy that I could also save in the root cellar. So, I decided to go with some, there we go, potato. I got some Yukon Gold. I've never grown potato. Let's try it out. My background is Irish, so maybe I'll be pretty good at it. We'll see. Alright, cucumber. Cucumber is a good natural source of vitamin B, or so I have read. That's important, and so I'm going to grow some cucumber, give myself some energy during the summer. Maybe I'll learn how to can. I don't know if this entire process is too overwhelming. Maybe I'll just gobble up all the cucumbers and worry about learning to can next year. I am from the South. I cannot resist a good tomato plant, so I ordered some tomatoes. I'm going to make my own pasta sauce. I've been doing this with store-bought tomatoes, but I want to do it with fresh tomatoes because I think it would taste amazing. And then down here, we've got peppers. I'm going to do some jalapenos. I really like spice. I like spicy foods, so we're going to grow some jalapenos. And then I bought my wife a blueberry bush a long time ago in the backyard. I mowed over it accidentally, and so I'm going to put it in the front yard, and I think it'll do better in the sunlight. So the backyard, let's talk about that. I planted some fruit. Pear, fig, apple, peaches, tea, because if a manageable catastrophe comes along, I'm going to want some caffeine. So I've got some tea, and I've been reading up how to make tea, and it sounds pretty simple, so I'm excited to try it out. I've planted garlic in a circle around my fruit trees. That's supposed to deter insects, deer, squirrels. We've got a squirrel problem. You'll see that in one of the episodes. So, and the garlic is cool because it was my great uncle's, and this particular strand predates 1940. So pretty dope. To attract pollinators, I've got butterfly bushes, which grow amazingly in this climate. So that is what I'm going to plant. How and when I'm going to plant it, you're going to have to tune in, because I'm going to do it step by step, and I'll show you the dates, how to do it, the techniques, and all that. You may have noticed that I'm going to need a lot of supplies to build my raised beds and my fence, so I itemized it and broke it down for you. Check it out. Margin of error, it's going to cost about $500. What I've got written down right now is about $420. So I checked the online marketplace. Old deck board for the raised beds, because deck board is treated. Somebody was giving that away, so I got it for $0. Yeah! I got some old woven wire as well for the fencing for $0. Yeah. Topsoil. That was expensive. $200. And I needed 3 cubic yards. So 3 cubic yards, it covers about 120 square feet and then about like 3 inches thickness, right? And so it was actually plenty. I actually had too much. So good job on the topsoil. I need 2 treated 4x4x6s for my gate. That's $20. 6 T-posts for the fence, $50. A post driver, $20. Concrete, $10. Gate hardware, $30. Seeds, $70. Rain barrel. I got a rain barrel for my birthday, so that was $0. But I see them all the time online, so I'm sure you can find a rain barrel for free. The irrigation hose is going to be $10, and inoculant is $10 as well. What is inoculant? Inoculant, it's like some type of bacteria that you soak your beans in. The beans need the bacteria to grow properly, so we do need some inoculant. And so I should be spending about $500 on my garden, but most of this is a one-time cost, right? Old deck board, wire, topsoil. I mean, I may have to change that out. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. Posts, post driver, concrete, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Seeds, you can, at the end of the year, you can harvest your seeds and store them, so that should be a one-time cost. Inoculant, you'll have to probably buy again. So a lot of this is mostly going to be a one-time cost. So I'm going to eat the 500 and learn to grow food and hopefully be able to feed my family. Maybe my goal is like 50%, cut down my grocery bill by 50%. So we'll see. Hopefully I'll be successful.